Okay, so I know I said that we were gonna do clothes and hair next, but I lied. We are gonna do faces and expressions, and this is gonna be um, the 2.0 version, or 2.5. Yeah, lesson 2.5. Let's go with that. So, um, you know, you want to customize your character. You want to make them look good. You want to give them personality, and you should put a lot of that into how you design your face, because that is one of the first things you notice um, with a character is their face, shortly followed by like body language, and then you start looking at clothes and hair and getting a general feel for uh, what the character is going to be like just based on an image. Um, so the first thing we're going to do, excuse my squeaky chair. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw some faces. Okay. So in humans there's typically a few like designated shapes. If you purchase glasses or if you have glasses, you'll probably know about these shapes. Um, that they typically, I feel like it's like assigned to people. Um, you'll see, like if you have a rounder face. Oops, that's kind of more of a oblong face. That's a shape too. So like round faces or square faces or you might see heart-shaped faces, and these are kind of just designations that help people understand. For in the case of glasses, helping you understand what kind of shape you like, um, or helping you understand what kind of shape might go well with your face. But you can also integrate these into your like into your character design. So if you wanted to keep a rounder face, like we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna give it a jawline, and we're gonna give it the top of the head and some ears and maybe some rounder eye features. And in a round face, like things tend to be a little bit closer together because the face is a bit shorter. Longer faces, your square faces. So like square sharp edges are typically associated with men, but women can have square faces too. Women who have stronger jawlines typically have a square face, typically. But you can have a strong jawline, anywhere. But for the sake of, so we'll do the jawline here, and then we'll do it here. Like maybe you have a really defined jawline. Bring it up, give it some ears, and top of the head, and some eyes. Brr. Angry face. Okay. Then for the heart shape, that's kind of like this. The heart shape is the closest to that kind of typical anime shape where it's a very pointy chin. You might have a widow's peak, which helps to also help define the shape of your face. Um, and this can all contribute to the characterization that you have in mind for your. These ears are way too low, but these can all contribute to the characterization that you have in mind for your character and the kind of message you want to send with your presentation of your character, if you will. Um, I once again, anime is one of my biggest influences. I'm very inspired by shoujo anime and manga, which typically all have the. A lot of my favorite shoujos suffer from the same face issue where all the characters look pretty much exactly the same, especially like shows like Sailor Moon, where the characters all have these big eyes. It might be a bit squarish. Maybe the eyes are kind of like this. of the character, and then they have like a strong, firm eyebrow, and a cute little dainty nose, and then the lip. And you throw some. Boom! I drew Sailor Moon. Okay, but you don't always want to have the same face for every character. Sometimes you might want a bit of a rounder face or a bit of a longer face, or if you want that really kind of like masculine defined jawline for your character, like bring it up like that, and then there's your ear, like especially for your, I love the 3/4 turn, I know, but especially for like male characters, for me in particular, are difficult. I usually use a stronger jawline to define a man versus a woman. Some of my favorite references for unique character design are shows like if you really want to go way out there, you get shows like One Piece, which have an enormous array within their main cast of, their characters' facial features. So, like, if I start drawing a character, you'll probably immediately know who it is just based on, like, a couple of features, right? Too long. So, I mean, if you watch One Piece, you know exactly who this is. I don't, because I don't watch One Piece, but I know his face pretty well. Because it is such a unique design for a character. Another show that I have seen that has a lot of unique character designs is My Hero Academia, where you get, like, and this is a lot of character design thing too, because you want to focus on like silhouette and stuff like that for character design. But like if I draw a character that looks like this, you probably already know who I'm drawing if you've seen My Hero Academia. Mineta. Then Lita is another example of a strong. That boy got a chin. That boy's chin could cut glass. So like Lita. Boom. Or even looking at the differences between characters like Bakugo and Midoriya. Bakugo has a very similar shaped face to Midoriya. Like, even if we give them the same shape here, where it's kind of like that classic anime face, but Bakugo has really slender eyes, whereas Midoriya gets those big, heroic, innocent eyes. Because Bakugo is just angry at the world with his spiky hair. Worth noting, that also Midoriya also has spiky hair, but their characterization is completely different, despite having same faces but different eyes. How much of a difference can your eyes make in your character? A lot. So, what we're gonna do is, like, my suggestion for this kind of stuff is to look at some of your favorite anime. Looking at, if you're not doing, like, if you want more realistic, look at some of your favorite TV shows. Look at shows like Grey's Anatomy that have a diverse cast, both in, like, ethnicity and gender and face shape. You don't even have to watch the show. I've honestly only seen like 2 episodes, but I love the appearance of some of the cast. It has that typical handsome male. It has, the generic white lady, there's an Asian lady, there's a black lady, there's whatever. That's gonna sound really mean, and I apologize that I don't actually know their names, either the actors or the characters. But like, just looking through the cast of like Grey's Anatomy, there's a lot of diversity there for you to pull references from. And especially when you start looking at diversity and ethnicity, that's when you start getting into really like defining different characters, because there is certain anatomy to different races and different ethnicities that changes or that helps you define Like if you definitely want an African American character, then you need to study the anatomy of facial structure for African Americans, because we all have arms and legs and torsos, and muscles are pretty much all in the same place, but people of African descent don't necessarily have their facial structure isn't necessarily the same as Europeans or Caucasians in general. And even within the same country, they're not necessarily the same. Different ethnic tribes might have different facial structure because of whether it's isolation or because of whatever reason. Even just looking at the difference between European Spaniards and like Mexicans, or and the differences between Mexicans and like Puerto Ricans, or people who are all from Latin America don't necessarily look the same. There's always, at a quick glance, maybe they might. Everybody might. I don't look any different than like because I'm white, so I don't really look that different from like the Irish or the English or even Germans. But there is a bit of difference in what presents in their, for lack of a better word, their phenotypes, which is the physical representation of your genetic information. I'm not trying to like start anything. That's just how I understand it and interpret it. We're gonna move on from this because it gets. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or offend anybody, I guess. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're going to draw some faces, some expressions. So we're gonna do. Well, I have 7 heads here, but we may do more. We may do less. So we're gonna shoot for like happy. We're gonna do sad. We're gonna do angry. We'll do maybe surprise. We'll think of some others along the way. Alright, so happy. So happy expression, you'll find the eyes are maybe like if we're doing like a big grin. And there's a lot of different ways to portray happiness. But let's just shoot for like the kind of like smiling, happy. Eyes might be... Actually, let's put this on a different layer because I can do a couple of different happies for you if I'm smart. So let's kind of do a big happy grin. And then your eyes are going to say a lot. Eyebrows are a bit raised. So this is kind of like a cheery, happy. And then if we do like a... Well, let's trace over our grin because I want to keep the same mouth here. Or something close here. Like your eyebrows are still raised, but maybe your eyes are open. So there's a different level of happiness here where you're not so... Maybe you're not so chipper. Maybe you're just kind of like, oh, hey, buddy, or whatever. Like you're just happy to see somebody. Kind of need your eyes for that. So let's move on to sad. Okay, so sad faces indicated, of course, by let's turn that back up. Maybe by a frowny face. Maybe by some closed eyes, like, oh boo. And you're gonna see your upturned eyebrows, typically speaking. This is a very relaxed demonstration of sad. Or this might be a bit somber, like something sad has happened, something bad news has been delivered. Sad can also be maybe a downcast look, so we're gonna do our eyes here, and maybe we're gonna cheek the mouth a bit, and this might just be like a little depressive. So, see different kinds of sad, different ways to express sadness. Sorry. Okay, let's move on to Anki. Anger. Eyebrows in and kind of closer together, pointed inward. Your eyes. looking at whatever the hell you're angry at. Maybe you've got a frowny face, or maybe you're yelling. You got an open mouth and you're just like going in on this person who made you angry. Kick up the exaggeration a bit. Oops. Like you do in anime. And anime gives you these kind of like connected eyes with these big angry eyebrows. Maybe a straight up like connected unibrow. And then like an open mouth dropping past your chin line with teeth. Like just rage. Rage angry. Like raw. Okay. That looks terrifying. Surprise. Surprise is usually indicated by some raised eyebrows. Maybe a bit of an open mouth, like, oh, I didn't know that was going on. Oh, why is that person next to me so angry? Or you might shoot for more of a, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, like your raised eyebrows, you're kind of like surprised. And of course you can combine like surprise with joy, like a surprise party. You're excited, so you can, of course, like instead of the rounded mouth, you might be able to go with a bit of like maybe something like that. No, let's not go with that. That doesn't look right. But you get what I'm saying. I think maybe. Maybe you don't. Maybe I'm not making any sense at all. So we're just going to stick with the O face. And not that O face. Let's go with crying. Crying's a good emotion to know how to do. Okay, so I particularly like the ugly cry. The ugly cry is like scrunchy face. So like your eyes might be, your cheeks will come up a bit because you're kind of scrunching your face a bit. Those eyebrows are going to be real low. And then really, really sad. Sad face. Really sad face. Cry. Okay. And the or you can go for the straight up like the classic anime expression of sadness, which is just tears streaming down, maybe a bit more like this. Maybe this is a bit of more of a oh no sad. So lots of ways to express sad too. What's another emotion? Maybe excited. Let's go with excited. I need a happy emotion. So like, oh, I guess surprise can also be shock. Let's go back to surprise real quick, and maybe shock. Shock is another one that's like definitely surprised, definitely shocked. Maybe a bit like, maybe that's a bit exaggerated, but yeah, let's go with it. That looks like shock too. So excited kind of follows along with shock, except for you get more of a elated face. Teeth are together. Yeah, we're stoked. Something's happening, and we're excited. Or we're just cracked out, whatever. One more. Let's do one more. Let's do those are the emotions I feel. Oh, I guess neutral. If that's even an emotion. Neutral faces are easy. Very flat neutral eyebrows, maybe a side glance or maybe a bit in the middle there. Typically speaking, your eyes aren't going to be any more open or closed in a bit of a neutral look. And then just a straight mouth. Easy. All straight lines. Super easy to do. So we got a couple of different emotions here. We got did some face shapes. And again, look at references, your look at your favorite anime titles, look at your favorite TV shows, look at how people's faces are shaped, look at your favorite celebrities, and look at how different their faces are. And even just Googling things like face shapes or your favorite anime casts or TV casts or like any number of Google searches for people in general, you'll see a ton of reference material and ideas for what you can do to your character to make them both unique and express and present in the way that you want them to. I think it's important to pull resources from real life, even if you do stylize them. I know that I'm particularly bad about it, and so this is a kind of a do as I say, not as I do. But at the same time, a reference is a reference, and you'll develop your style as you get more comfortable doing different things. So, just keep practicing, keep trying new things, keep looking at expressions, even looking at yourself in the mirror and making facial expressions and drawing what you see can help you kind of get a better movement on what your eyebrows do or what your eyes do or what your mouth does when you make a particular expression. Draw what you see, even if it's just simplistic. You don't have to draw, the details of your face, but even if it's just a circle with, you're making your own emojis now, so it's just a circle with a cute little happy face. That's still helping you to understand, what goes where and what happens when the head's tilted down and what happens when it goes up and what if they look to the left or the right or if they're straight ahead. I didn't do that very well here, but because I like the 3/4 turn, but you get the idea. So just keep looking and keep practicing and just put your best foot forward. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's lesson. Hopefully it's a bit shorter than my last one, but thanks for checking me out anyway. All right, bye.